Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The number of international arrival and departures through Muscat and Salalah airports exceeds 47,000 by the end of June 2016. Directorate General of Customs at the Royal Oman Police computerizes its custom procedures to facilitate the movement of goods. And Mindula typhoon strikes near Tokyo as floods hit vast swaths of central and eastern India. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The latest statistics by National Center for Statistics and Information pointed out that both Muscat International Airport and Salalah airports witnessed an active aviation movement where the number of international arrival and departure flights exceeded 47,000 by the end of June 2016. The aviation movement through Muscat International Airport increased by 9.4%, where the number of flights reached more than 49,000. Statistics also showed an increase in the arrival and departure passengers by 17% to 5.5 million passengers. Meanwhile, Salalah Airport witnessed an increase by 13% in the total number of passengers to reach 50,000, and the number of flights reached 4,000 at the end of June 2016. The Directorate General of Customs, DGC at the Royal Oman Police ROP organized today an orientation session at its headquarters in Asib to facilitate its provides to business community. The meeting hosted CEOs of companies overseeing the Omani airports and the ports in the Sultanate, as well as shipping companies and agencies, customs clearance companies and officers, couriers and representatives of some ministries and government bodies related to work of custom in order to publicize to facilitate provided by the DGC to the business community. The meeting discussed a working paper on the facilities provided to the business community, the achievements in order to facilitate the easy flow of goods, economy boosting, investment promotion and speeding up the custom work. Another work paper presented during the meeting entitled The Reliable Economic Generator, which is the initiative of the Omani Customs to build a real partnership based in cooperation, trust and commitment by the companies that are related to the application of international safety and security standards. And now for the international world, the Kurdish YGP militia launched a major assault today to seize the last government-controlled parts of the northeastern Syrian city of Hasaka after calling on pro-government militias to surrender. Kurdish forces began the offensive after midnight to take the southern district of East Nashwa, close to where a security compound is located near the governor's office. The fighting this week in Hasaka, divided into zones of Kurdish and Syrian government control, marks the most violent confrontation between the YGP militia and government forces in more than 5 years of civil war. Hasaka's population, swelled by displaced Syrians fleeing areas that fell under Daesh control, is broadly divided along ethnic lines, with Kurds mainly in the city's eastern neighborhood and Arabs in the southern parts. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman said today that Russia has stopped using an Iranian airbase for launching airstrikes on Syria for the time being, just hours after the Iranian defense minister criticized Moscow for having kind of show off an ungentlemanly attitude by publicizing their actions. There was no immediate response from Moscow, which has used Shahid Nojer airbase to refuel its bombers striking Syria at least 3 times last week. Last week, Russia announced it had used airfield located some 50 kilometers north of the Iranian city of Hamadan. Fighters of Libya's unity government, backed by U.S. airstrikes, have recaptured more ground from militias holed up in the center of the coastal city of Sirte. Loyalist forces said they have retaken the internal security building used as a prison by the Daesh group, as well as a courthouse at the Naga district and Dubai Strait. It said the Daesh group's sniper position were neutralized by the U.S. airstrikes and destroyed 2 booby-trapped cars. However, 12 fighters were killed and 85 wounded in the clashes. The Daesh seized control of the city, which had been hometown of Libya's slain Gaddafi in June 2015. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and counterparts from 6 African nations met in Nairobi today to discuss ways to prevent South Sudan from sliding back into civil war. World powers and regional states have struggled to find leverage over the country's warring factions despite U.S. and European sanctions on the military leaders and African threats to punitive actions. After a 2-hour meeting with Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta at the State House, Kerry joined foreign ministers from Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan and Uganda to discuss options of putting South Sudan peace process back on track. The meeting was expected to discuss plans by the UN to deploy a 4,000-strong protection force in the capital, Juba, as part of UN peacekeeping mission. The UN has threatened an arms embargo if the government does not cooperate. A powerful typhoon struck near Tokyo today, the first in 11 years to come ashore in the densely populated region, temporarily shutting down a major city airport and grounding more than 500 flights nationwide. The Japan Meteorological Agency said Typhoon Mindula made landfall at about 12:30 p.m. local time in Takayama City, 80 kilometers southeast of Tokyo. The agency said as of 7 p.m., the storm, packing gusts up to 144 kilometers per hour, was moving through Fukushima Prefecture north of Tokyo and heading north-northeast at 35 kilometers per hour. According to public broadcaster NHK, a total of 30 people were injured. Most of them were minor, but a 34-man broke his rib after falling due to strong winds. At least 40 people have died and hundreds of thousands have been evacuated as floods hit vast swaths of central and eastern India, officials say today. Days of heavy rain have caused the Ganges River and its tributaries to rise above the danger level during the past 48 hours in about 20 districts of the state of Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Officials said at least 17 people have died in Madhya Pradesh, 14 in Bihar and 9 in Uttar Pradesh because of drowning, electrocution and injuries from collapsed houses. In Bihar, 600,000 people were evacuated and the Army Air Force are on standby because of more rains in forecast in the next 2 days. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth seeks to enhance date production and quality through modern agricultural techniques.
هنا الرائحة العالقة بالذاكرة تأخذنا دهشة مختلفة لتبهرنا بجمالها الآسر حيث ملتقى الأسرة. امنح نفسك شغف التجربة، فهنا حكاية الجمال لا تنتهي. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2016 من 15 من يوليو إلى 31 من أغسطس. عمان، المحبة والوئام.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The exchange of points of few top topics of meetings of Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan Armed Forces, when he received in his office at Muaskar al-Murtafa today Lieutenant General Lyndal Yam, Chief of Army in South Africa, currently visiting the Sultanate. The meeting discussed a number of matters of common concern. Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan Armed Forces, also received in his office at Muaskar al-Murtafa General Joseph Votel, Commander of United States Central Command, currently visiting the Sultanate. The meeting exchanged viewpoints and discussed a number of matters of common concern. Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan Armed Forces, also received a delegation from the National Defence College of India, led by Major General B. Singh, senior faculty at the college, currently visiting the Sultanate. The two sides exchanged several matters of common concern, particularly in the academic and training aspects between the two friendly countries. Muscat Securities Market MSM General Index today lost 25.3 points. The trading value today stood at 2.5 million Omani Riyals. The report released by MSM pointed out that the market value fell by 0.13% to reach about 17.28 billion Omani Riyals. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth seeks to enhance dates production and quality through providing farmers with the most modern agricultural techniques in the process of producing and marketing dates. One of the agricultural techniques is drying dates in room made by polypropylene materials that preserve dates clean and retaining its quality through controlling the temperature and humidity. The drying room can accommodate around 1,600 kilograms of date, and the humidity inside the drying room reach 15 to 20%, which is suitable for preserving the quality of dates. The ministry, through supporting date production projects, seeks to achieve food security. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with intermittent drizzle and scattered rains. Rest of the Sultan will have clear skies with cloud accumulation over Herjar Mountains. Low clouds and fog late at night and early morning are expected over the coastal areas of Sea of Oman. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate over the coast of Oman, while the coastal areas of the Arabian Sea will be southwesterly moderate to active. Seas will be rough along the coast of the Arabian Sea with a maximum wave height of 3.5 meters and slight along the rest of the coast with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The number of international arrival and departure flights through Muscat and Salalah airports exceeds 47,000 by the end of June 2016. Directorate General of Customs at the Royal Oman Police computerizes its custom procedures to facilitate the movement of goods. And Minjulia typhoon strikes near Tokyo as floods hit vast swathes of central and eastern India. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.